Dominica is the first in the region to pilot a child assault prevention program. Government spends over $300,000 to improve the mobility of the Dominica Police Force and tourism to play an even more important role in the north of the country. Thanks for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Nisha Charles.
And I'm Kerdisha St. Louis. Stay with us for details of the headline stories and others after this.
If you can believe this.
Come by my house and let me show you some movies.
Why can't you believe this? Some mothers don't believe their own children when they say they've been sexually abused, and they don't report it. Remember, if anyone asks to see or touch their private parts, touches them inappropriately, shows them or forces them to touch one's private parts, has sex with them, shows them pornographic material, or deliberately lets them hear or see the act of sex, then it is sexual abuse. Believe your child and report the sexual abuse. For more information about child abuse, contact these agencies. This message brought to you by UNICEF and this station.
Thanks for staying with us. Dominica will be the first to pilot a child assault prevention program, CAP, in the Caribbean region. With the help of the Child Fund Caribbean, UNICEF, and the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives, 40 practitioners both in the non-government and government sectors will be trained to be facilitators. These facilitators will empower teachers, parents, and children to avoid, prevent, and resolve conflict or assault by peers and adults. The International Center for Assault Prevention will conduct the 3-day training.
The 3-year National Child Action Plan developed in response to the findings of the study on child sexual abuse in the Eastern Caribbean conducted by UNICEF in 2009 and then again in 2013 asserted a need for a positive, proactive child protection environment, raising awareness of the effect of child sexual abuse on children and strengthening their families and communities. This campaign is what CAP is all about, and we have Child Fund Caribbean, their administrative team and supporters, our Canadian and UNICEF contributors to thank.
The Ministry of Education is pleased that the project is being implemented in Dominica. Acting Chief Education Officer Melina Fontaine says this is all part of the vision of the ministry that every child succeeds.
To realize that vision, we know that children must be educated within an environment that caters to their holistic needs and that ensures that they are safe, healthy, and protected at all times. And I think after today, we will be definitely using and adopting the words strong, safe, strong, and free.
The introduction of the CAP program will augment the child-friendly school initiative already implemented by the Ministry of Education. The Child Friendly Schools initiative ensures that schools are safer, healthier, and a more positive place for children.
In September 2009, when the Ministry of Education began implementing the Child Friendly School initiative, it was done with the knowledge that all our students have the basic human right to be educated within an environment where they feel safe and protected at all times. We expect that, as a result, the students will embrace the opportunities provided for them and work towards success, whatever their potential. At the Ministry of Education, we continue to put measures in place so that within all of our educational institutions, the practices and the principles of child-friendly or effective schools are implemented. We have seen significant changes, positive changes, in the schools that have embraced the initiative. However, we are also aware that we have a lot of work to do and this is particularly highlighted when incidences of violence against children come to the fore.
The project has received over $98,000 through the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives.
Canada is committed to working with the Caribbean and other partners towards a more prosperous, secure, and democratic hemisphere. One aspect of ensuring prosperity and security in the region is to assist countries such as Dominica to increase their economic opportunities, to strengthen security and institutions. And an example of that would be to strengthen the Child Fund and the recipients of their programs. Dominica is a significant partner for Canada, and we value working together with you as we go forward with this project under the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives.
After the successful completion of the 3-day training, the pilot program will be implemented in 2 public urban schools, the Roseau Primary and Goodwill Primary Schools.
The Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force is now in a better position to respond to the needs of citizens. On Wednesday, a handing over ceremony was held at the grounds of the police headquarters to officially present 3 vehicles to Daniel Caban, Chief of Police. The keys to the vehicles were presented by the Honorable Minister for National Security, Justice and Immigration, Rayburn Blackmore. He says the most fundamental function of any government is to provide safety and security for its citizens. The Honorable Minister is hopeful that this investment will truly make a difference.
It is my hope, therefore, that the police will be able to respond, to report in a more effective manner, and also provide patrols not only in the city of Roseau, but throughout the portions of this country. Citizens of this country ought to feel safe at their homes, safe on the beaches, and other parts of this country. It is my hope, therefore, Commissioner, that the police force will not let down the people of Dominica. We still enjoy peace and order in this country, but I believe, therefore, we need to work even harder in order to ensure that Dominica remains the most peaceful part of the Caribbean and the world on a whole.
The government of Dominica has spent $317,000 to procure these vehicles, which were all locally sourced. The Honorable Minister expressed appreciation for the work of the police force in Dominica and challenged the Chief of Police to make maximum use of the investment.
I can say to you today that we have vehicles. And in keeping with the fundamental principle of the Labour Party, in ensuring that every police station and every department and every section is outfitted with a police vehicle, we are doing that just that this morning. I want to say to you, therefore, Commissioner of Police and your men, that you have my continued support. My function as a minister is to ensure that I facilitate you from a policy standpoint so that you can get the tools of trade that you require in order to meet your mandate, which, of course, as I said before, is the safety and security of the wonderful people of Dominica.
The minister also promised the police force more to come. Chief of Police Daniel Caban expressed his gratitude to the government of Dominica for the bus and 2 pickups. He says the force is happy for government coming through, even in the midst of challenging financial times. He detailed how the vehicles will be put to use.
The bus will be assigned to Melvin on Immigration. Melvin on Douglas Charles, I must say Immigration. That area has never had a vehicle, from my recollection. One vehicle is to go to Vegas Police Station. After all, within the last 3 years, Vegas have never had a vehicle, and so Vegas will get a vehicle, and the traffic department will get the other vehicle.
Chief Caban gave his commitment to manage the use of the vehicles.
Under my watch, these vehicles will properly control manage and supervise. After all, the citizens of this country, and even people who visit us, must get true and good service from these vehicles.
So, Kerdisha, here we see government playing its role in improving the security of the country. You know, the police force has received from government in the past, whether it be through government directly or through friendly governments. And today it was government directly bringing $300,000 worth of equipment, that is vehicles, to the police force. You know, it's not only this time, but 4 years ago, government received 30 vehicles from the Venezuelan government. And just last year, they got 90 vehicles from the Chinese.
Well, I know that's great, Nisha, because right now we are approaching the carnival season, and, you know, security is, you know, a top priority. And the donation of these vehicles is going to make it so much easier for police to have a quicker response time, because, you know, in the past it's plagued them, you know, the slow response time to incidents. But right now we see that that's being resolved, and it's all thanks to the government of Dominica.
And, you know, it's not just equipment, but, you know, the government of Dominica finds monies, wherever it be, whether through the Venezuelan government or the Chinese government, to train the police officers. So they have sent them on trips to those different countries to receive training. So, you know, we see government is playing that integral role in equipping the police force where they see fit.
And it's not just in the police force, but also, you know, in the marine aspect as well, because, you know, the donation of the 3 boats recently has also, you know, improved the security that Dominica is having all over the island.
Okay, so hopefully we will see the use of those 3 new vehicles during the upcoming carnival season. In the near future, tourism will play an even more important role in the economic development of the north of Dominica, in particular the Cottage constituency. The Honorable Member of Parliament for the Cottage constituency, Reginald Austri, says sites like the Kana Heritage Site can rake in that tourist dollar.
We already have the trail, the national trail. I think segment 13 and 14 passes between Capuchin and Penville. Okay, that's a trail. I see tourists on that trail almost on a daily basis. So we now have to position ourselves to attract some of that tourist dollar. So it goes now to the entrepreneurship of the residents of Capuchin in particular, and Clifton coming down the road, to prepare themselves with the necessary infrastructure to receive those tourists. Once we have completed the roads and we have completed the water projects, then we'll be in a position to sell to a greater extent what we have. We are the Kana Heritage Site. We did the Heritage Day was held in Kana, and from all reports, it has probably been one of the most exciting and one of the most successful heritage days.
The Honourable MP believes that the constituency needs to position itself to benefit from the tourist attractions available in the north of the country.
Also, up the river, there is also a waterfall in the Wabin area going up towards the Valley Estate, Harrogate Estate. There is, in fact, a waterfall that we can tap on. And then we have the beach in Tukari, and you have noticed that you have the Tukari Beach Club Development Committee have been trying to improve and to develop, and they have a very good thing they're going on a Saturday night and on a Sunday, where people can come and hang out, kitchen, food, drinks, and so on. So we're now beginning to develop that sort of community tourism, keep the beach clean, keep the beach nice, and so on, and we have that going. And of course, you also have the Tatan Heritage Tourism Group. So all these groups are working together to ensure that we can sell the whole package. From the time you leave the Caribbean cruise ship booth, we can offer your package. And even on your way to Penville, where you have the Cold Soufriere, that is also a major tourist site. So I can see in the future tourism playing a very important role in the economic development of the north of the country, but more so of the Cottage constituency from Penville, Capuchin, Tatan.
The Honourable MP was speaking on Focus on Government and Development radio program last week.
The road infrastructure is continuing to receive improvements in the Cottage constituency. The Honourable Member of Parliament for the Cottage constituency, Reginald Austri, outlined some of the projects that are already underway and those to come on stream. He was speaking on Focus on Government and Development radio program last week.
We've done quite a bit on it. We've done the complete Lago road from by Rosie Douglas to Resident the Market, right back to Purple Turtle. That has been done and completed. We have the rest of the road from Purple Turtle going up to Bellall. Well, you know, we have plans for these 2 big hotels coming there, and there's going to be some diversion of that road at a particular point in time. And so we'll continue to maintain that to patch the potholes, but a more long-term solution will be found when we have settled on the diversion and where that road is going to be. as it relates to the 2 hotels being built. Between Bell Hall, after we have done all these city fence walls through Bell Hall and Tatan, we have resurfaced up to the junction of the Savant Pie School. We have entered into a contract with Dipcon, I think the company's name. The monies have been made available. I'm not sure whether they've been paid. You know that the equipment is already mobilized. They have some equipment at the Savant Pie schoolyard, and there's a roller, I think, somewhere in Monalwi, and they're now getting ready to do the hill.
The secondary roads are also top on the agenda.
We just completed in Clifton, just spent $150,000 doing the Clifton Road after having spent almost $200 doing the Toto Road, and that is from the Village Council Junction to way up by Mr. Ravino Daniel's house, nice stretch of road, and also the back road going through Shimeloa. We in fact have been able to do that road. I have just submitted 2 small projects for 2 roads in Savant Pie. The road around the Catherine Joseph area there, we need to do that road, and we need to do Reunion Lane, that is that road there just above Everett Shop going back by Teacher Osborne, and on that lane I've just submitted 2 small projects, and I'm really hoping that very shortly the monies will be made available. We have much more roads to do, but for the time being, that we see as the focus.
The Labour Party administration has surpassed the goal of having 60% of the major networks in good condition by 2015 and is working towards 100% being in top shape by 2020.
In keeping with its mandate to improve and grow the agriculture sector, the government of Dominica has implemented measures to reduce the impact of invasive species on island. According to head of the Plant Protection and Quarantine Unit of the Ministry of Agriculture, Ryan Anselm, one of these measures includes restricting the importation of foreign plant or soil onto the island.
Someone bringing in just a piece of tissue culture or a piece of boards, that can cause serious problems, and even soil. Sometimes we get the request that I'm traveling, I'm going to Martinique, I'm going to Trinidad, and I want to bring in some flowers, some beautiful flowers that they see. One of the things that we always tell them, the pest of concern for that country you're trading with, it might not be of concern to them, or they can live with the pest, or they have management strategy of that pest. But in Dominica, the pest might not be present, or it will affect, for example, bananas, it will affect planting. And so that is why we try to restrict and prohibit the entry of these commodities. And so we always ask people to apply the procedures that you apply for an import permit.
He also urged the public to consider the large-scale implications of transferring non-regulated plants.
We're informing the public to safeguard not only agriculture, but plant health, animal health, and human health, because there's a direct relations between the pests coming in. If a forest pest comes in, it will affect our tourism, it will affect our rivers. The procedures are there. Is not to say that you cannot trade. We are asking you to follow the procedures and will allow us to do the scientific assessment of this importation.
Chief Veterinary Officer Dr. Reginald Thomas notes that without these necessary measures, Dominica's agriculture sector as well as the public could possibly be at risk.
The potential impact for the people themselves who handle the product it could be grave. And so we have to put in the necessary systems by first doing risk assessments, and also looking at the regulation of it. So to go back to meats, they come from animals. So we would want to know which animal it came from, what country it came from, what diseases exist in that particular country, and to also look at what systems were put in place to ensure that that animal was killed in a sanitary manner, that when we import that product, that our families are not affected and the wider public.
Dr. Thomas revealed that consequences resulting from lack of proper knowledge could be felt at an international level.
Most of these invasive species are what we call notifiable diseases. What that means, if you, for example, were to import a case of rabies in a dog, no, you have to report that to the international community. It changes everything as it relates now to movement in and out of Dominica. Countries will put restrictions on you. The innocent person is now required to get certain permits, do certain tests. So even the cost of movement of the person who had nothing to do with the actual importation would have to change. So these are the reasons why we try to protect the country, protect us from the impacts of invasive species.
7 young ladies of the Dominica State College DSC will on February 12, 2015 vie for the title of a Miss DSC Mass Jamboree at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. They are Carla Henry, 19 of Maho.
I am a 19-year-old Carla Henry, hailing from the exuberant community of Maho. I am an accounting and economics major here at the Dominica State College.
Sharika Winston, 18 of Bath Estate.
I am 18-year-old Sharika Winston from the vibrant community of Bath Estate. I'm an economics and history major here at the Dominica State College.
Brianna Vidal, 18 of Bioche.
Standing before you is 19-year-old Brianna Vidal from the boisterous community of Bioche. It's indeed a privilege to be sponsored by Ross University School of Medicine. I invite each and everyone to come support myself and the 6 other ladies as we vie for the title of Miss Mass Jamboree 2015. See you there.
Other contestants include Tamika Balson, 18 of Fonkani, Alwina Thomas, 19 of Penville, Cherise Fabian, 17 of Grand Bay, and Chantel George, 18 of Fonkole. The ladies who were introduced at the launching ceremony on Tuesday are seeking to succeed Ayana St. Rose. They will compete against each other in 4 rounds: talent, thematic wear, evening wear, and question and answer. Mass Jamboree is a college-organized carnival event and will take the form of a 3-part show: a pageant, calypso section, and a mini band splash. The calypso section will feature calypsonians such as Black Diamond, Stingray, and The Professor. And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is up next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non moins, c'est McPherson St. Louis. Premièrement, ministre agriculture qui travaille combattre maladie Black Sigatoka. Parole celle-là sortie officier quarantine ministre agriculture Ryan Ansem.
Black Sigatoka qui a fait 3 dangereux à Dominique. Nous sommes bien contents le gouvernement Dominique ba $300,000 pour gouverner contre Black Sigatoka. Si bien qui passe, nous fini spray tout le monde Dominique, nous avons spray banane avec figue, et pas seulement figue nous avons spray banane avec figue. Nous avons fini faire ça semaine qui passe. Ça nous avons fait un assessment comment spray ça a fait. Nous avons passé tout le monde Dominique, nous avons planté café dilifin, nous avons encouragé pour faire plus dilifin. Moi qui venu, nous les voyons en commission bah tout le monde qui n'est plan abandonné, nous avons aller couper tout plan qui est abandonné en pays. Ça nous allons faire en bas règle plan protection and quarantine, il a bas nous authority pour nous couper ces fils là qui abandonné. Et nous fait ça nous qui est un des programmes là.
Ansem fait parole que toute catégorie habitant peut affecter et puis maladie là, raison aussi supposé suivre weg combattre.
Il pas qu'à faire sens on nomme ni 10 à figure ou banane. Il y a un homme qui abandonné. Et où spray fil ça là. Maladie a sorti en fil là qui abandonné via le bitenum là. So c'est ça nous les démons sous où les feuilles pas quoi. Moi qui extension officer yo que mucho pour comment ça fait sous ni bœuf ou ka mettre bœuf là pour manger figue là il qui contrôler Black Sigatoka aussi.
En notre nouvelle association Teacher Dominica tient un grand meeting, ça dit que host une conférence association Teacher Kawayeb qui prend place en Dominique l'année là. Parole celle-là sortira le président association Teacher Dominique, Madame Célia Nicolas.
Nous kamene DAT CUT, nous sommes CUT Caribbean Union of Teachers. Avec tous les deux années, il y a un meeting ada dot pays. So nane sala DAT yo made nou pour host. Ça c'est second deuxième fois là nous ka fait. Eve un meeting là qui premier week à août. Vous savez, so nous ka di 24 countries ka desan Dominique. Eve ini Dortmund ki ka desan. Eve so nou ka host yo, so teachers ke vini Dominique, nou ke ni conference, nou ke ni lames, nou ke jikmade Dominique pour host yo, because nou ka ni moun ka sorti out Guyana, Suriname, etc. So moun dot pays ou sa commencé qui est DAT pour dire ok si Grenada ka desan nous voulons host Grenada nous voulons faire ça c'est première fois ça qu'a fait.
Another nouvelle, Minister Kai, Honorable Reginald Austri, qu'a fait par World Commitment Gouvernement continue programme Révolution Kai en Dominique. Programme ça là qui commencé en l'année 2005, qui a marché pour 10 années à présent, et puis si le Minister Austri, programme là qui continue le gouvernement Labour Party, juste tout Dominicien tapé soulagement qu'a causé les affaires Kai. Le gouvernement a déjà dépensé plus de 20 millions de dollars qu'a bâti et puis réparer maison ba moun à ba programme ça là. Honorable Austri aussi fait parole que le gouvernement qui fait available pour moun bâti maison. Et puis finalement, organisation Child Fund Caribbean qui a collaboré et puis organisation internationale conduit un workshop qui a traîné les participants à ces affaires enfants qui abusés et puis manière pour manivrer et puis situation comme ça. Après pour 40 participants qui ont reçu traitement ou facilitators qui n'ont autant d'expérience en sujet ça. Mademoiselle Gilina Fontaine, c'est officier Child Fund Caribbean en Dominique.
Aujourd'hui, nous avons testé quelque chose pour la première fois. Nous avons train 40 practitioners pour faire ça, qui est Child Assault Prevention. Pour après ça, nous allons à l'école pour nous montrer ces teachers là, ces parents là et ces timons là, comment pour protect Koyo from n'importe type of violence and assault.
Mais je ne sais pas faciliter pour ça
nous avons Cheryl Mochta, c'est from International Center for Child Assault Prevention in New Jersey, in the USA. C'est avec collègues là, ils avec nous pour till Friday, Saturday, samedi au café, ça avec nous.
Mais généralement, c'est un général.
Programme ça là, si nous faisons bien à Dominique, nous avons expecté qu'à l'école là, il y ait less violence. Les enfants et teachers, enfants et parents. So nous avons expecté mon adultes pour parler bien avec les gens, pas aider eux, pas foutre eux, pas abuser eux en différentes manières.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson and Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, how to fight the flu.
Dominica is blessed with an abundance of water, but getting it to your home is an expensive venture. You have a responsibility to conserve water, to use it wisely. Remember the old adage, you never miss the water till the well runs dry. Think water, think life.
While there is no cure for the flu, there are some natural and practical remedies you can use to ease the symptoms. If you have in fact come down with the flu, stay home and get plenty of rest. Drink plenty of fluids. Fluids help keep your respiratory system hydrated and liquefy thick mucus that can build up and cause infection in your bronchial tubes.
Use steam inhalations. Fill a bowl or your bathroom sink with steaming water. Add 1 teaspoon of Vicks Vapor Rub to the steaming water and breathe in the steam for several minutes until you get relief.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm.
Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News Desk, I'm Kerdisha Sentui.
And I'm Nisha Charles. Thanks for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.